Introduction. In the quaint and charming town of Willowbrook, nestled between rolling hills and meandering streams, an extraordinary love story unfolded, one that was neither fictional nor embellished, but rather a testament to the raw, unadorned emotions that bind two souls in the face of life's most daunting challenges. This captivating tale of love, loss, and the resilience of the human spirit began with a young woman named Emma, whose world revolved around the cozy embrace of her family's bookstore. Emma, a bright and vivacious soul, was renowned throughout Willowbrook for her unceasing dedication to her family's modest bookstore. Generations of her kin had curated its shelves, and Emma was no exception, preserving a treasure trove of knowledge, wisdom, and stories. It was here, amidst the scent of aging paper and the warmth of well-worn books, that the stage for her remarkable journey was set. On a fateful morning, with the sun gently casting its golden hues upon Willowbrook's cobblestone streets, a stranger graced the bookstore's threshold. This stranger was Daniel, a man of striking intellect and an unquenchable thirst for inspiration, which had led him to the sanctuary of Emma's bookstore. Their lives collided in a serendipitous encounter, and in that moment, the world seemed to hold its breath. Daniel was not an ordinary visitor, he was a writer, bearing words that he wielded as a painter does their brush. His presence alone was enough to set Emma's heart astir, and their first meeting ignited a spark of connection that would illuminate their lives. As they exchanged words about life, literature, and dreams, it became increasingly apparent that their bond was evolving into something more profound than the casual acquaintanceship of two townsfolk. Emma's dearest friend, Sarah, noticed the transformation within her friend. She saw the sparkle in Emma's eyes and the softening of her smile whenever Daniel's name was mentioned. One day, Sarah decided to confront Emma, her voice filled with both curiosity and concern. "Emma, you seem happier than ever. Are you falling for him?" she inquired with a knowing look. Emma's cheeks flushed with warmth as she admitted, "Yes, I think I am." Love had found its way into her heart, and it was as beautiful as it was unexpected. With these feelings, Emma embarked on a journey she could have never anticipated, a love story that would prove to be both a source of joy and a crucible of trials. In a town where everyone knew everyone else's business, the budding romance between Emma and Daniel became the talk of the town. The townsfolk watched with fascination as their connection deepened, an inspiration to those who bore witness to the simple yet profound love story unfolding before their very eyes. But, as life so often dictates, love stories are rarely without complications. Emma's family faced financial difficulties that threatened to extinguish the flame of their beloved bookstore. The weight of this burden bore heavily on Emma's heart, yet she hesitated to confide in Daniel, fearing that her problems might drive a wedge between them. As the days turned to weeks and weeks into months, the love between Emma and Daniel continued to flourish. It transcended the spoken word, finding expression in their shared silences and stolen glances. The townsfolk watched with bated breath as their love story evolved, but little did they know that this was only the beginning of a profound tale of love and sacrifice.
Chapter 1: The Beginning. In the heart of Willowbrook, a picturesque town that seemed plucked from the pages of a storybook, there stood a timeless sanctuary for bibliophiles and dreamers alike. This haven was known as Evergreen Books, and it had been the proud possession of Emma's family for generations. The quaint shop, with its weathered oak shelves and rows of dog-eared volumes, held within its walls not just books but the rich history of a family whose love for the written word had endured for centuries. Emma, the torchbearer of this legacy, was a radiant young woman in her mid-20s. She possessed an innate charm, her auburn hair cascading in gentle waves, and her hazel eyes alive with curiosity. Her days were spent amidst the hushed, book-scented aisles, running her fingers across the spines of novels that held the wisdom and dreams of generations. Her dedication to the bookstore was unwavering, a testament to her love for literature and her family's heritage. One sunny morning, as the first rays of sunlight streamed through the dusty windows, Emma was meticulously dusting the shelves, the soft hum of her favorite classical music playing in the background. It was in these tranquil moments, amidst the whispered secrets of countless stories, that her world would undergo an irrevocable shift. A handsome stranger, with raven black hair and eyes that seemed to hold the mysteries of the universe, entered the bookstore. The gentle chime of the bell above the door announced his arrival, and he introduced himself as Daniel. He explained that he was a writer in search of inspiration, and the quaint charm of Evergreen Books had drawn him in. As Emma and Daniel exchanged pleasantries, their eyes met, and in that instant, an invisible thread wove itself between their souls. It was a connection so potent, it felt as though the universe itself had conspired to bring these two kindred spirits together. Daniel was a man of words, his very being infused with the beauty of language. His presence in the bookstore was like a symphony in a silent room, and with each meeting, Emma found herself drawn further into his world. Their conversations transcended the realm of small talk, delving deep into their shared love for literature, art, and the pursuit of dreams. As the days passed, Emma discovered that Daniel's words mirrored the emotions she held in her heart, and every sentence he crafted resonated within her. It didn't take long for their daily encounters to become a cherished ritual. Daniel returned to the bookstore day after day, sharing fragments of his work and dreams with Emma. Each visit was a testament to their growing bond, the townsfolk whispering about the radiant connection that seemed to defy the ordinary. In Willowbrook, where tales of love, dreams, and destiny were shared with fervor, Emma's story was becoming something truly remarkable. And as Emma and Daniel's lives continued to intertwine, this enchanting love story began its inexorable journey toward an uncharted destination.
Chapter 2: The Connection. The days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, as Daniel's presence became a staple in Emma's life. Their bond deepened with every shared moment, and their connection grew into a symphony of emotions that resonated through the cozy aisles of Evergreen Books. With each visit, Daniel's charm and charisma captivated not only Emma but also the townsfolk. His mysterious aura, coupled with his talents as a writer, made him an enigmatic figure in Willowbrook. However, it was the quiet intimacy that developed between him and Emma that held the town's attention most. Emma's days were now colored by the excitement of Daniel's impending visits, and her heart danced with joy as she heard the melodious chime of the bell announcing his arrival. Their conversations transcended the mundane, and they found themselves discussing the profound, the extraordinary, and the magic that could be found within the pages of books. As they wandered the shelves of the bookstore together, their fingers brushed against volumes that held tales of love, courage, and adventure. It was in those moments that they began to craft their own story, a narrative of two souls intertwined in a way that went beyond the words they shared. Emma's best friend, Sarah, couldn't help but notice the transformation within her. She observed her friend's radiant smile, her animated discussions with Daniel, and the way her eyes lit up at the mere mention of his name. One evening, unable to contain her curiosity, Sarah decided to broach the subject. Sitting at the small, antique table in Emma's cozy kitchen, Sarah leaned in, her voice filled with affectionate concern. "Emma," she began, "you seem happier than ever. Are you falling for him?" Sarah had been by Emma's side through thick and thin, and she recognized the signs of love when she saw them. Emma's cheeks flushed with warmth, and she gazed at her friend with a mixture of vulnerability and joy. "Yes," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper, "I think I am." The admission marked a turning point in Emma's life. Love had tiptoed into her heart, and it was as thrilling as it was unexpected. As Sarah listened to Emma's story of how her connection with Daniel had deepened into something more profound than friendship, she couldn't help but feel a sense of joy for her dear friend. The entire town was aware of the love story that was blossoming, and they couldn't help but be touched by the simple yet powerful connection that was forming between Emma and Daniel. It was as if their story had become a beacon of hope for the townsfolk, a reminder that love could be found in the most unexpected places and could flourish in the most unpretentious of settings. But, as in any love story, the path ahead would not be without its complications and challenges. Emma's family was about to face financial difficulties, and their cherished bookstore was at risk of closing down. The weight of this burden was one that Emma couldn't keep hidden for long, and the trials that awaited them would put their love to the test in ways they could have never imagined.
Chapter 3: Love Blossoms. As the seasons shifted and Willowbrook embraced the vibrant colors of spring, Emma and Daniel's love story continued to unfurl like the petals of a blossoming flower. Their connection was no longer a secret, and the townsfolk watched with bated breath as their romance deepened into a bond that seemed destined to endure. Every moment Emma spent with Daniel felt like a stolen treasure, each conversation more meaningful than the last. The town itself seemed to come alive, imbued with the magic of their budding love. Streets that had once been quiet were now filled with whispers and knowing glances as the people of Willowbrook cheered them on. Daniel, a man whose words held the power to touch the human soul, found in Emma both a muse and a confidant. He dedicated his latest book to her, the pages of which seemed to dance with her essence. The townsfolk, who were avid readers of Daniel's work, marveled at the enchanting tales he wove and whispered that the characters he created were inspired by none other than the radiant Emma. Despite the simplicity of their life in Willowbrook, Emma and Daniel's love story was far from ordinary. Their love was an understated masterpiece, a canvas painted with shared dreams, quiet moments, and stolen glances. It was a love that transcended the boundaries of time and circumstance. The townsfolk couldn't help but notice the profound change that had come over Emma. Her heart, once guarded, now lay open, and her laughter, once shy, now filled the air with infectious joy. The world had become a brighter place for her, illuminated by the presence of the man who had entered her life so unexpectedly. In those fleeting moments when they were together, Emma and Daniel's love was not a spectacle, but an intimate dance of souls. They shared dreams of far-off places, of adventures they would undertake, and of the books they would write together. Their love story was not only a celebration of what was but also a promise of what could be. The town watched with fascination as Emma and Daniel's love story unfolded, like a classic novel with each page turned, bringing new chapters of joy, passion, and depth. It was as though they had tapped into the age-old magic of storytelling, where life imitated art and love knew no bounds. But, as in all great love stories, their journey was not without its share of challenges and hardships. A storm was brewing on the horizon, a tempest that would test the strength of their love and their commitment to one another. Little did they know that the trials they were about to face would be the crucible in which the true depth of their affection would be revealed.
Chapter 4: The Sacrifice. As the days flowed seamlessly into months, Emma and Daniel's love remained a beacon of light in Willowbrook. Their connection had become an inseparable part of their lives, a love that continued to grow with each passing day. But just as their bond deepened, so did the challenges that life had in store for them. One rainy afternoon, with the gentle patter of raindrops on the bookstore's windows, Emma mustered the courage to confide in Daniel about her family's dire financial predicament. She was deeply aware of the burden that her family's struggles had become, and she had kept it hidden, not wanting to burden her beloved with their problems. In the quiet corner of the bookstore, amidst the shelves that held the stories of generations, Emma revealed the truth to Daniel. Her voice trembled as she shared the heartbreaking reality that her family's cherished bookstore was at the brink of closure. It was a place not just of business but of dreams, where generations of her family had poured their hearts and souls into sharing the beauty of literature with the town. She expected Daniel to pull away, to distance himself from the troubles that had now encroached upon their love story. But, to her astonishment, he did the opposite. Instead, he embraced her tightly, holding her close, and said with unwavering determination, "We will find a way together, Emma. Your family's bookstore is more than just a business, it's a part of your heritage, and I love you. I won't let it close." Daniel, with his connections in the literary world, took immediate action. He dedicated his time and expertise to boost the bookstore's online presence. With a few keystrokes and the power of social media, they breathed new life into Evergreen Books. Online orders flowed in, and people from all over began to discover the hidden gem that was Emma's family bookstore. But Daniel's support extended beyond just the digital realm. He rolled up his sleeves and became a crucial part of the bookstore's daily operations. He helped customers, recommended books, and arranged events that brought the community together. It was not just the business that was being saved, it was a piece of history and a dream. Their love story, once defined by stolen glances and whispered confidences, now had a new chapter. It was a chapter filled with resilience, sacrifice, and unwavering commitment. Emma and Daniel's love was not just a romantic ideal, it was a real and practical force that had the power to overcome adversity. The townsfolk watched in awe as the once struggling bookstore began to thrive, and it was clear that the credit went to the love and dedication of Emma and Daniel. They proved that love was not just a fleeting emotion but a force that could weather the most challenging storms. But their journey was far from over, and new trials lay ahead. Life had a way of testing the strength of their love, pushing it to its limits, and revealing its true nature. It was a test that they would face with unwavering resolve, standing together in the face of whatever obstacles came their way.
Chapter 5: A Test of Time. With the resurgence of Evergreen Books and their love flourishing, Emma and Daniel had become inseparable. The pages of their love story, once blank and filled with uncertainty, were now inked with a deep, abiding affection. Yet, as life often does, it threw a curveball that would test their love in ways they hadn't foreseen. One fateful day, a phone call shattered the peace that had enveloped their lives. Emma received news that her beloved mother had fallen seriously ill. Emma's heart sank as she listened to the doctor's somber words. Her mother's condition was grave, and it was clear that Emma needed to be by her side. Torn between her commitment to her family and the love she had found in Daniel's arms, Emma faced an agonizing decision. Her mother needed her, and Emma could not turn her back on her family during this trying time. The choice was clear, but it came with a heavy price. Emma had to leave the bookstore, Willowbrook, and the love of her life behind, at least temporarily. Daniel, understanding the gravity of the situation, offered his unwavering support. He knew that family came first, and he encouraged Emma to be with her mother. It was a heart-wrenching parting for both of them, their love temporarily severed by the demands of life. Emma left Willowbrook with a heavy heart, feeling the weight of the separation from Daniel. Her days were now filled with the responsibilities of taking care of her ailing mother, who needed her presence and support more than ever. The struggle was real, as she juggled her responsibilities with her own longing for the life and love she had left behind. For Daniel, the empty shelves of Evergreen Books and the silence of the bookstore were constant reminders of Emma's absence. He spent his days managing the store, waiting for the day when she would return. Their love was put to the test as they found themselves physically separated for the first time since they had met. Yet, despite the miles that separated them, Emma and Daniel remained connected through the threads of love that they had woven together. They exchanged daily messages, shared stories of their respective challenges, and offered support and encouragement to one another. Their love proved that it could endure not only the happy moments but also the trials of life. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, Emma's mother began to show signs of improvement. Her health was gradually stabilizing, and Emma's heart swelled with relief. It was time to return to Willowbrook, back to the life and love she had left behind. The reunion would mark a significant moment in their love story, a testament to the strength of their bond. Emma's journey was not just a return to the bookstore and the town she loved, but a return to the love that had sustained her through the most challenging time of her life.
Chapter 6: The Reunion. After months of separation, Emma's heart brimmed with anticipation as the day of her return to Willowbrook drew near. Her mother's health had stabilized, and Emma felt a renewed sense of hope and purpose as she prepared to reunite with Daniel and the life she had temporarily left behind. The journey back to Willowbrook was filled with mixed emotions. On one hand, Emma was elated to return to the familiar sights and sounds of the town she loved, and the bookstore that held a piece of her heart.
On the other hand, she couldn't help but feel a touch of anxiety about how her relationship with Daniel might have changed during her absence. The townsfolk, who had been keen observers of Emma and Daniel's love story, were also eager to witness the reunion. They had followed the twists and turns of their relationship, and their shared affection for the couple made them invested in their happiness. As Emma stepped off the train and onto the platform at Willowbrook's charming little station, she couldn't contain her excitement. She could already feel the familiarity of the town wrap around her like a warm embrace. The cobblestone streets, the quaint shops, and the friendly faces were a welcome sight after her time away. The journey through Willowbrook was a nostalgic one, as she passed by familiar landmarks that held precious memories. But the most significant destination was Evergreen Books, the heart of her family's legacy, and the place where she had first met Daniel. She took a deep breath and pushed open the door, her heart racing in anticipation. What she found was beyond her wildest dreams. Evergreen Books was thriving, not just as a business, but as a symbol of the enduring love between her and Daniel. The bookstore was bustling with customers, and the shelves were brimming with new and old books alike. The online presence that Daniel had built during her absence had drawn readers from far and wide, making Evergreen Books a destination for book lovers near and far. The joy in Emma's heart was palpable as she walked through the store, taking in the vibrant atmosphere. And then, at the back of the store, near the cozy nook where they had spent countless hours together, she saw him. Daniel stood there, a warm smile on his face, and a twinkle in his eyes as he watched her approach. The moment they locked eyes, time seemed to stand still. Emma felt her heart surge with emotion, and she couldn't help the tears that welled up in her eyes. With quick steps, she closed the distance between them, and in a heartfelt embrace, they reunited. Their love had been tested by time and distance, by life's challenges and the trials they had faced individually. But it had endured, and it had emerged stronger than ever. The townsfolk, who had gathered to witness this reunion, broke into applause and cheers, celebrating not just the return of Emma but the triumph of their love. As Emma and Daniel held each other, surrounded by the books and stories that had brought them together, it was clear that their love story was not just a tale of love but a testament to the power of love in the face of life's challenges. It was a story of resilience, sacrifice, and unwavering commitment, proving that true love could endure anything, no matter how realistic and serious the situation. Their love was a beacon of hope and an inspiration to all who witnessed it, a reminder that love could conquer all and that, in the end, love was worth every sacrifice and every trial.
In the end, Emma and Daniel's love story stood as a shining example of the power of love when faced with life's most daunting challenges. It was a narrative that transcended the realm of fairy tales and romantic fantasies, grounded in the real, often harsh, realities of life. Their love was not just a fleeting emotion but a force, an unwavering commitment that defied the odds and proved that love was not merely a flight of fancy, but an enduring and unbreakable bond. Their journey had been marked by resilience, as they faced and overcame the trials that life hurled their way. The challenges, from financial difficulties to family dramas and personal insecurities, had tested the strength of their love. Each obstacle they surmounted only made their love grow more profound, proving that love could thrive even in the harshest of conditions. Sacrifice was another cornerstone of their love story. When Emma had to leave her beloved Daniel to tend to her ailing mother, it was a heartbreaking separation that was born out of love and responsibility. The sacrifice of being apart, of putting family first, was a testament to their maturity and selflessness. Their love remained unwavering even as the miles separated them, proving that distance could not weaken the bond they shared. Unwavering commitment was the heart of their love. It was not a fairy tale romance that unfolded effortlessly, but a love that demanded hard work, dedication, and a willingness to stand by each other through thick and thin. They demonstrated that love was not just a feeling but a conscious choice, a decision to be there for each other, to weather the storms of life together, and to work through the challenges that arose. Their love story reminded us that love was not limited to fictional tales of passion or idealized, improbable situations. It could be found in the ordinary, in the simplicity of a small town, and in the day-to-day struggles of life. It was a love story grounded in reality, in the authenticity of the emotions they shared and the depth of their commitment. In the end, Emma and Daniel's love story served as an inspiration to all who crossed their path. It taught us that true love was not just an emotion but a powerful force capable of enduring anything, from the most profound challenges to the most realistic and serious of situations. It was a beacon of hope, a testament to the strength of the human spirit, and a reminder that love, in all its simplicity and complexity, was worth every sacrifice and every trial. Their love story was a real-life testament to the enduring power of love, a story that would be told and retold in Willowbrook for generations to come.